Screen share. Add. Invite people. Morning.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm late. Blake said he's 10 minutes out. Where that was 3 minutes ago. You have dog here today?
Yep. In the little crate right now.
I hear people.
How was did Buck show up for training or no?
Who?
My PR.
No, he's coming next week.
Okay.
Let me see if you guys can see this too. I got the text message I just sent you. You got it?
Yeah, it's maybe send my view real quick. I need Hangouts to join the video call. Please. Give me a second.
Crushing my soul.
Dang, you just wants to play. Just think it's the waterfall.
Lila last night opened out her window and seeing this bunch of those things that fall from Brent's tree. It's just part of the tree, but it's not leaves. And it looks like a critter, and he would like randomly wake up and see it and lose his shit, like barking, screaming, like we were under attack. Like 2 a.m., no big deal.
Is it making you download some stuff?
Yeah.
Is it making you download?
Whatever Hangouts.
Google Hangouts.
Yeah, so what were you showing me?
So I'm going to be basically utilizing something called Facebook Live.
Join call?
Yeah.
Join it. The microphone. Okay.
Can you see me?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Super easy.
Yep.
It's because of the fact that we're in like the same loop of audio that it's doing this. All right, cool. You can stop it. It's really weird.
I don't know how to. Still going. I don't know. That's probably.
Should I wait for Blake or should we just get started?
Let's get started because I have to leave at 8:50 for my appointment.
All right then. You as well. Maybe.
What mean?
Think it's possible that I've learned anything in the last year?
No, you've learned nothing.
Got it. Literally as fast as I can from start to finish.
Can I be Miss Jones?
That'd be weird.
Don't be rude. Clearly, Blake will be Miss Jones, Richie. Come
Oh yeah, my bad.
on.
All right. Here.
Come in. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm Damien.
Nice to meet you. I'm Richie.
Thanks for having me over. Is it okay if I come in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna take my shoes off here. How's your day going so far?
It's pretty good.
Good. What have you guys been up to?
I'm just hanging around the house. I'm doing some dishes and stuff.
Yeah. You guys have any fun plans this weekend?
Not really. We're just killing time and relaxing before we go back to work Monday.
Yeah, that's cool. And what do you do again?
I'm a real estate agent.
You're a real estate agent. That's cool. Which company do you work for?
Keller Williams.
That's awesome. How long have you been there for?
About 4 years.
Cool. So are you taking the place over yet?
No, not yet. Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. That's cool. And then is it like a big office or like small, kind of more?
No, it's a pretty big office. We have several agents.
That's cool. That's awesome. Well, you mind if we use the kitchen table?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
Awesome.
perfect.
All right. Cool. Well, let's have a seat. And I'm sorry. What was your name, ma'am?
Oh, hi, I'm Alicia.
Hi, Alicia. It's really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Is there some Blake?
Oh, how you doing, little man?
Hi, I'm good.
Dude, pound it out, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. So, are you excited to see the Cutco? Do you know what we're doing here? No. So here's what's cool. If you are awesome, I will show you a really cool magic trick in about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But you got to be good.
Okay, good.
All right, awesome. Pound it out again.
All right.
All right, cool. Awesome. All right. Well, so first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to see my presentation today. My favorite thing about this job, since I've been starting it here a couple months ago, is that we can't do any door-to-door sales. We can't do like telemarketing. Like my company doesn't give me any sort of leads. And when I first started this job, I just told myself like I never want to go back to a job that pays me minimum wage because I hate the idea of somebody determining how much I'm worth. And like $7 an hour, that's like crazy to me. And I'm sure you haven't had a job like that in a really long time, but like for me, I've got friends that are doing that and they hate their job. They're wasting their time. And I just saw this opportunity and I'm like, wow, I see people that are paying for college selling Cutco, that are getting a scholarship selling Cutco, getting President's Club letters selling Cutco, and just really, really being confident and being able to pay for their own school. So that's why I joined this company. I was actually recommended by a friend of mine, and basically my goal is to be able to pay for school on my own. My family and I moved here from Argentina when I was 10, and in Argentina, college is free. And so for me, I basically just want to say thank you for all the sacrifices that my parents have made in order for me to get here, and all the sacrifices they've made throughout the time here. And I want to be able to pay for college myself. Plus, I figure if I pay for school, I'll probably go to the class a little bit more. I also want to graduate with a 3.5 GPA, and I want to actually become a business owner one day. One of my goals is I want to actually open up, I'm not really sure what kind of business, but something that helps young people. I just feel like a lot of young people in the United States, they just don't have any future. They don't have a lot of experience. They don't have hopes. They're not really sure what they want to do. And so again, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but I want to do something that really helps that young people the way that I guess kind of this company has been helping me out as well. Is it okay if I share with you some of my goals for Cutco? All right. So right now, place at the right time. So here's what I mean by that. I don't know if you've ever heard of Cutco before prior to this. I can't remember if you said that you had. But our company, one time per year, does a national contest. And the reality is I, before working at Cutco, have not really ever been that good at anything. Meaning like, not like a loser, but I'm saying like I've never won at sports or been like the MVP or like the top scorer in any game. In fact, in one of my soccer games, I actually scored a goal against my own team. Like I'm not that awesome at it. The Argentinian genes did not follow me. You know, in school, I was always pretty good, but I was never like the top 10%, nothing like that. You know, a couple of advanced classes, but never anything where I was just like, okay, that's what I'm good at. I've tried playing an instrument, couldn't do that. And I don't know, I just, for some reason, some of these things just never clicked for me. But what's cool about this company is that I can actually win a trophy at a conference coming up here for my work ethic. So it's not about how, you know, fast I am or tall I am or any genetics. It's all based on how many demos I can complete. First of all, like I said on the phone, you don't have to buy anything. Again, I don't know if you're not taking notes right now because like I'm spitting fire. So like I said on the phone, you don't have to get anything today. In fact, Cutco is a little too expensive to buy just to be nice. However, don't be surprised if you see something you like. We have awesome discounts on our sets right now. And if you want to get it today, it'll really help me out with my scholarship. I've got a goal of hitting $10,000 for this SC2 push that we're in. And to be honest with you, I've never hit a goal something like this. Like this is way more than anything I've ever gone through before, but I've broken on the numbers. So I know how it works. I know how many appointments I have to do. You're one of my appointments today in order to get the number of sales, to get the number of referrals that I need in order to get the work done. And the thing is this, my 100% commitment to all my customers is if they, as long as they're nice enough to see me, I will never quit. I'm literally going to work until the very last moment of this push, just so at the end of the push, I can look at myself in the mirror and say, you know what, even if I didn't hit my goal, I never quit on my commitment. And you know what, maybe you guys might be nice enough that at the end of the push, if I'm short by one ice cream scoop, maybe I can call you and maybe, you know, charm an ice cream scoop out of your guys. If it's something that you want to get me for the holidays. But just so you guys know, I love Cutco and the product is awesome, but what I love more about Cutco is the long-term nature of this opportunity that I have, because I think it's the greatest job for me. I can actually have a really flexible job as a student where I can focus on my grades and work when I want. So my number one goal today isn't even to sell you anything. My number one goal today is that just you like me and Cutco enough to recommend some of your friends on me. So throughout the demo, if you think of anybody that thinks that you think might be nice enough just to see me, I would definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna try to hook you up with some free Cutco, even if you just help me out with a couple people. That sound good? Awesome. All right, well, you must be wondering why I'm so excited about this job, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let me tell you a little about the company. Let's see here. So I'm kind of still brand new. Is it okay if I like kind of go through my notes in my manual?
Yeah.
You guys not gonna make fun of me or anything like that, right?
No.
All right, cool. We've all been new at stuff before, right? All right. So, anyways, let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys cook because you have to, because you like to, or you love to cook? Love to cook. Okay. What are some of the things that you get to be there for her cooking, right? What are some of the things that you love to cook? Spaghetti squash, huh? And then what are the thing? Well, like, what's the thing that when you cook, like he's good, like he's a good boy, like he's like a good husband, right? When he knows that you're about to make that, like, what's like your dish de resistance?
Beet and sweet potato bake.
Beet and sweet potato bake.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? Sounds amazing.
It's super simple. It's 5 ingredients. It's garlic, onions, olive oil, beets, and sweet potatoes. And you literally just bake them in the oven and it gets soft and delicious.
Dude, I'm gonna have to, once I sell you guys some Cutco, I'm gonna have to come over and you guys are gonna make some of that for me. Yeah, I'll get you a really good deal if you can like hook me up with like one meal. I'm a starving college student, so like if it's not ramen noodles and water, like I will eat whatever it is. Beet and sweet potato bake is every single day. You guys are awesome. All right, I love it. All right, cool. So before we begin to do, I'm gonna send you on a scavenger hunt. There's some prizes involved if you got everything on the list. You have to get your favorite serrated edge knife, your favorite straight edge knife, and whatever you would use for like steak knife. Cool. All right, so go to your kitchen drawer. Grab it for me, please. Okay, at this point, while you're doing that, any questions over anything I've done?
One second. No questions. Things I've noticed.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think you were gonna learn anything because you saw this last year. Douche towel. All right. All right. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot. Can you do me a favor? You have a piggy bank?
Yeah.
Could you go get me like the shiniest 2 pennies that you can find, but it's got to be really, really shiny. All right. So he goes and gets a piggy bank. Anybody have a penny here?
I really don't.
In my
Okay.
car, I did.
In the interview room, there's a little cup next to the TV. In there will be some pennies. Right. So why do I send him on a scavenger hunt to like, find a shiny penny? Okay. Why don't I get him to get 2? One for the beginning of the demo and one when he starts being a little antsy. And so I'm going to tell him if he's a good boy, I'm going to cut another penny for him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in control. All right, so today I'm going to tell you why Cutco is the #1 selling brand in the United States for like 20 years. We're going to look at our product line, and then we're going to review prices and specials at the end. All right, and like I mentioned before, I only work through referrals, so I hope you've already thought of about 400 people that you can refer me because you think I'm so charming. It's nice. Oh, do you got one? Perfect. All right, dude, just hold on. I'm going to put these right here, and I'm going to do something awesome with them in just a minute. All right, so let me tell you about Cutco. We've been around since 1949, and every Cutco knife is made in America in our factory in Olean, New York. We sell $200 million worth of Cutco annually, and we have 16 million customers, and I gotta put a little asterisk here because it's about to be 16 million and one. And you may have seen us on shows like Modern Marvels and Made in America.
That's good. I like that one.
Like I said, take fucking notes. I am actually recording myself. Like swore 3 times. It's one of the only products that you can buy one time. Like you could literally buy today, and then you could use it every single day for the next 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years of your life, and then 20, 30, 40 years of little Blake's life. Never, ever, ever have to replace it. And Cutco is also the proud producer of many K-Bar knives. You guys ever heard of K-Bar before?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, it's the knives all the military uses.
Yeah.
Hey, if Cutco is good enough for the military, it's good enough for us, right? And Cutco is also involved in many local and national charities, including the Front Row Foundation. So to start off, I'm going to show you 2 products that demonstrate the quality of Cutco. This would all obviously be in my sample kit. That would be in, would be on a chair directly next to me. So I would have put that right next to me on a demo. All right. When I said that was something pretty cool, this, by the way, I'm no longer looking at the customers at all. I'm just looking at the little kid. So these are our Cutco scissors. Here used scissors before. I like these though. Check these out. Just kidding. Pretty sweet. So here, is it okay if I let him hold it?
Yeah.
It's super sharp, so be careful.
Be careful.
So one day, like when you go to school tomorrow and somebody gives you like a hard time, just like grab the penny and just like, and then just show it to them. And then they'll think you're a freaking superhero. Isn't that pretty sweet?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So these are our Cutco shears. Could you imagine for like science fair projects, you know how you like open cardboard, all kinds of crazy stuff we get. So could you imagine how easy it'd be to cut through chicken with these? So you can cut through chicken really easily. I like to cut pizza with them too. It's kind of fun. You can cut pizza into like funny shapes. I can put like a smiley face, like little eyes and stuff. And then when you're all done, you know how it's impossible to clean? They just let the rust out in the middle. You know, pretty sweet. Okay, so. Oh, is that your daughter?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Were you like a volleyball practice? Cool. Well, come join us for the demo. I'll do another magic trick if you want. If you want to join us for that. All right.
Dirty.
That's just from the 500 pennies I've cut
For
up.
the 500, there you go.
Yeah, it kind of the little penny residue hangs out in there. All right. So obviously they have high carbon stainless steel that makes them good for everything in the kitchen as well as indoor and outdoor projects. They're dishwasher safe. Fun fact. And they come apart for easy cleaning. All right. The next thing you got to try out, Mrs. Jones. Good question. Oh, here it is. Ms. Jones, you've got to try this peeler on this carrot. You ever use like a really flimsy vegetable peeler and it sucks? Like it is the worst. All right, check this out. Mr. Jones, you got to wait your because you're about to do this in about the next 5 years. They're pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
They're pretty cool. All right. So let me just show you. And by the way, what's really cool about that vegetable peeler is not only does it go back and forth, all of our accessories and gadgets are guaranteed forever and dishwasher safe. And if you guys are awesome, I'm going to do my best that you get both of these items for free. Sound good? Free's the best, right? All right. So what I'm going to show you next are the world's most expensive set of knives. So what do you guys think they're going to look like?
Made of gold.
Made of gold, yeah. All right, made some gold, right? What else do you think they're going to be made of? They're the world's most expensive, more expensive than anything.
Very fancy.
Really fancy? Okay.
Ornate.
Probably not what you're thinking about, right? All right, so.
Hey, Mom, we have bad drawer.
Right? Well, actually, I snuck in earlier today and like took a picture of it, and then we had to screenshot it into our book. It was a lot of complicated work, but you know, graphic designers do a thing. All right, so most people have the world's most expensive set of knives. The average knife is designed to last just 2 years, so most households waste a ton of money replacing cheap knives over and over again. You guys probably know this way better than I do, but cheap knives have a ton of problems. So there are 2 types of handles. First of all, wooden handles, like you see on this knife. They're kind of attractive and new when they're polished and varnished. However, wood is absolutely disgusting to have in your kitchen. Wood's like a sponge. It absorbs everything. You know how it gets on a tree, like it absorbs everything, but then it doesn't excrete anything when it's dead. And so if you see the discoloration around these rivets, that's everything in that wood seeping out through the rivets. Like literally, if I was strong enough to like wring this wood out, like the water that would come out would be black and brown and have like little stuff inside of it. And that's all the bacteria that's got in there. There's more bacteria on your wooden handle than on top of your toilet bowl. I don't know about you, but I made my mom throw away all of her wooden handles just because of sanitation concerns. They're actually illegal in most restaurants and hospitals to actually have in any of their kitchens because of what they attract and absorb. What's really, really disgusting and starts to rot from the inside out, so you can't really tell till it's too late. Plastic handles, that's the alternative. Obviously, much more sanitary, but they absorb liquid, but they're actually really, really cheap, so they melt, chip, crack, and break. You guys ever seen like a melted plastic handle before? Right? Well, that melting, what will happen is it will help make it harder to grip things. So they're slippery when they're wet, which is extremely dangerous while you're cutting, and you obviously cannot put them in the dishwasher because they'll melt right away. It's kind of a waste of money that way. Knives are constructed very poorly. Most knives have a partial tang with just a lot less steel. You see how it only goes halfway through like that? So you can see this is partial tang because it only goes halfway through. Right? It would have to go all the way through. Same thing with this one. So all of the pressure is on the top. Okay, which is why like you can kind of start to feel like coming apart a little bit like that. And most rivets like this one are made of brass or stainless steel, which expands, contracts, and loosens, creating really unsanitary gaps in the middle of it. And you can see it here, but you can see it more right on the top with all that grit that's getting in there. Steel, carbon steel. It's really, really strong, but it rusts and corrodes. It's kind of like an old muffler, which is unattractive and unsanitary. And then stainless steel, it's definitely a lot more clean, but it's super soft and flexible. Every time you cut over any sort of cutting board, it's going to dull right away. And I don't know if any of your knives felt like they've ever gone dull over the years.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let me ask you a question. How often do you think an average knife manufacturer recommends that you resharpen your cutlery?
Every use.
By the way, nobody says that, right? Like, what do they typically say?
Once every couple months.
Yeah.
Once a month, something like that.
Right, that's pretty good. That'd be pretty good, right? You're supposed to sharpen your knives before and after every use, because a sharp knife is way safer than a dull knife. Right? Could you imagine trying to cut a pineapple or a watermelon with a really dull knife and you're push, 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 and then you slip and you cut yourself? That's how most accidents in the kitchen happen, according to ERs. The hard cutting surface dulls the knife, not the food. And both of these edges directly contact the cutting board, dulling them a lot faster. The dull knife is way more dangerous because you have to push down harder. And if you've got any knives like this, the problem is they just cost a lot of money over time. You know, if this knife right here costs 10 bucks, and then there's like 8 knives in this drawer, that's going to be like 80 bucks for this drawer. And most of them are replaced about every 2 years for the next 40 years. That's 20 replacements. So 80 times 20 is $1,600. A drawer of junky knives. Isn't that kind of crazy that's how much it costs? Okay, so let me show you how Cutco has solved all of these problems. All right. You excited to shake hands with Cutco?
Yeah.
All right. Sweet. Oh, wait, dead silence for like 13 seconds. Another dead silence for another about 10. Why am I doing that? I'm just giving her time to interact with the knife, just kind of like be one with the handle. All right. So, Mrs. Jones, how does that feel in your hand?
Feels really good.
Isn't that amazing, the handle?
Mm-hmm.
So the first feature that you're feeling is our universal wedge lock handle, which will fit any size hand. The universal design locks your hand into place, increasing control and safety, and it makes it so it reduces fatigue. You know, it does make the product a little bit, it does make the product more expensive, but it's worth it because it's comfortable and safe. Feature, this material that the handle is made out of is called thermal resin. And you can feel that it's really durable. It'll never chip, crack, and break. It's a really expensive material to use. It's the same stuff they use to make like football helmets. If you guys know how much like a football helmet costs.
Oh, that's expensive.
Yeah, it's like $600 to $1,000. We use the same material on our handles.
Jesus.
You didn't know that? Yeah. That's why.
No.
Yeah, that's why the school, like the football, like camp that you're gonna send your kid to in a couple of years, it's gonna cost you a couple $1,000 because the helmets itself like $300 to $500 for little kids. Well, the reason why is because the handle is the most expensive material that you can use. Because imagine if the material of the handle was the same stuff we used to make like that flimsy plastic knife. This is what their helmet was made out of, right? Depends on the day. Oh, hopefully today.
Thanks, Mom.
All right. The third feature is the full tank construction. So can you see how it goes through on both sides?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And using the extra steel is more expensive, but it's worth it because it creates strength and balance. And the little metal rivets that it's made out of, it's called nickel silver. Those are flush with the handle, making it strong and sanitary. The fourth features are very, very high grade steel. It's high carbon stainless steel, and it's a little more expensive to use it, but it's got the best of both worlds. It's got the high carbon for edge retention and stainless for beauty, making it sanitary and obviously really sharp. So let's go ahead and what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you how our blade works. Actually, this is the most popular thing. This is what people know about Cutco. Like when they buy Cutco, you know, they like it because it's they're comfortable and everything, but the one thing they love the most about it is they love how well it cuts every single day. The edge. This is a patented product feature that we've applied on every single piece of Cutco that does slicing since the 50s, and it's amazing. So let me show you how it works. Jenny, would you mind grabbing me some rope and some leather, please? One of the sample kits, we can find some if you want to mind.
There's some in Brian's office.
There's some in Brian's office.
Just love it. I don't know about Brian, though.
Oh, great. On video.
We are pausing 10 seconds for station identification.
So what's something that you've learned so far? What's something unique that you've picked up so far in my demo?
The Tootsie car where you kept handing it to him. You didn't every time I said him down.
Yep.
Yeah.
What else?
You early in the demo, you mentioned referrals several times to kind of get it to where they're like, okay, so I got to do that at the end, rather than just at the end be like, oh, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Release here.
Great. And a cutting board.
And you also said, what do you love to cook?
Mm-hmm. I've already primed myself, so I know what stuff I'm going to talk about. You can have safe. Cool. And we're back. All right. All right, so you guys ready to see how Cutco works? This is freaking sweet. All right, I remember this was my very first interview. This is probably the reason I decided to work for the company, because I thought it was really awesome how the knives work. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually use one of your knives. And Mrs. Jones, do you mind helping me out? You're probably the muscles of the operation around here anyways, right? Just joking. All right, she's the one that opens the jars for you, right? All right, cool. So I'm gonna have you do this. I'm gonna have you start at the back of the blade, use full strokes back and forth, and I'm gonna hold the rope. And if you see red, call the hospital.
Oh,
Just kidding.
all right.
Just joking. Can you hear the cutting?
Yeah.
Okay, so the serrated edge, it cuts all the points because it rips and tears a lot more like a saw does. You ever like cut through bread and like it rips and tears everything? That's because it's serrated edge. Okay, and the next knife we're gonna use is a straight edge. Start at the back of the blade, use full strokes going back and forth, push down hard. Oh my God, I'm glad I'm here.
Babe, we need knives.
No, this is normal.
Sweet.
This is totally normal. You didn't know you get your exercise today, did you?
It's all right if we go to the bathroom and come back.
Hey, this is not her fault, by the way. All right, that's fine. All right, and for this one, we're gonna go again. Just do the exact same thing. Start at the back of the blade, push down hard, and make full strokes. I want you to see if you can do it in one. Look how
Wow.
clean that is. Isn't that amazing? Dude, Mrs. Jones, high five. You rock. All right, so the reason why it cuts like that is because this is not a serrated edge. Unlike a serrated edge, it's double the edge, cut smoothly with straight edges, forwards, backwards, and straight down, all at the same time. That's when you started pushing down, you started noticing how much easier it was to cut. And then the points, basically the way I look at it is that, so these blades are like movie stars, and these points are like the bodyguards. And this is the paparazzi. So basically, the bodyguards are here to protect the movie stars from the paparazzi, which is like your hard cardio services. And that's why they always stay super sharp and shiny. I came up with that myself, by the way.
That's wonderful.
And because of that, an average piece of Cutco will stay sharp on its own for anywhere between 7 to 10 years without any sharpening. It is definitely the most unique and most expensive part of our product line, but it is so well worth it. And the best thing about Cutco is not how it cuts today, but how it'll always cut. And we have something called the Forever Guarantee. Cutco is one of the only products that you can buy one time, and then you guys can use it every single day, 3-4 times a day, and you never have to replace it. The product is your proof of purchase, and you can pass it down from generation to generation. First of all, performance. Anything goes wrong with the product line ever, just return it. We'll give you a new one. No questions asked. Sharpening. Knives ever go dull, which eventually they will every 7 to 10 years, send them back. We'll sharpen them for free. Unconventional use. If your husband ever uses these to open up a paint can or chop down trees, we'll give you a piece of cut for half the not yet. You're going to do that.
I'd
But
never do that.
of course not. You never like open paint cans, open windows. We'll give it to you for half the retail cost. And then 15-day money back guarantee. We have a 20% down trial program where basically you can try out every piece of code for only 20%. And after the 15 days, if you don't love it, we will go ahead and give you 100% of your money back. I'll actually come by. I'll actually pick everything up. I'll put them in a box and I'll send it back and get 100% of the 20% down guarantee. And that way you can try it out because obviously, you know, you're going to want to probably try everything out before you make a final decision. And that way it's risk-free. And the investing in Cutco, they just try it out for a couple weeks, see if they love it. If they don't love it, they can just return it, and it's totally flexible. And this is the same guarantee that we've had on every piece of Cutco since 1949. Right? It never changes. Even the cutting board, this one that's all scratched up, I can send it in every single year and get a brand new cutting board for free, forever. And you know, the cool thing is that you don't even have to have a receipt. So when you pass them down to Blake, when you pass them down, right? You understand the psychology behind. You've already bought this, saying you're going to already pass this down. So when you pass these on to Blake, he'll have the same guarantee forever. And then he passes on to his kids, and it'll end up being essentially kind of a family heirloom. All right, so so obviously you guys can definitely buy individual pieces, but most customers agree that over a lifetime, a set is just a much better value. It's just obviously important to have the right tool for the right situation because of safety and efficiency. We have 2 much larger sets for people that love to cook called the Ultimate and Signature set. But, and I mean, I can show this to you. I know you do love to cook a little bit later, but I'm going to start with the pieces and just our most basic set. It's called which is the most popular. It's our Homemaker Posate. It has the minimum number of tools to do 100% of the jobs in your kitchen as efficiently as possible. It's just the best value for the average family. And it starts with your cleaned. Who's on it? I don't know. There's stuff. All right. Starts with your paring knife. Now, what's the first thing you notice about the handle of that paring knife in comparison to most paring knives?
It's way longer.
Isn't that pretty awesome, right? Because isn't your hand the same size no matter what knife you're using?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that weird that some paring knives like a little short and dinky handle that just digs into your palm like that? It's super uncomfortable. That's a nice, super long handle. And it's just for our air knife. You would never use it on the cutting board. So this is, for example, when you're like peeling potatoes for your like your sweet potato bake. You're just peeling them. It's just a lot easier to peel potatoes, apples, orange. Just anytime, and also like scraping carrots. I gotta show you this thing. Remember how we peeled the carrot earlier? So I'm gonna actually show you something called scraping a carrot. It's the easiest way to keep all the vitamins and nutrients on a carrot. Is instead of using a peeler, you actually just scrape it. And as you can see, you're scraping off all of the top layer of the vegetable, which leaves it's just a little thin layer here instead of like the thicker peel. And you're keeping all the vitamins and nutrients actually in your food versus in the trash. This is something that I teach to all the moms that I sell Cutco to, because it just makes it a lot healthier. And carrots are so good for you, but you're losing most of the actual reason you're eating them when you're using a really thick, kind of like dull peeler. This paring knife is really great for that scraping process. You want to try it out? Very cool. So he tries it out, scrapes carrot. Isn't that pretty cool? All right. So now you're going to be able to use that a little bit more. All right. So that piece, obviously, I mean, that's not really one of our gourmet pieces. That's like one of the pieces like people use all the time. I'm going to show you now our most popular knife. All right, so this is our world famous trimmer. You can go in, have a seat. Yep. All right, so this is our trimmer. This is the piece that when you're like not sure what knife to grab, you just grab that one. Probably people use that knife like 3 to 5 times a day. You ever try to cut a tomato with a really dull knife before?
Yes.
What happens?
Squishes out.
It squishes, right? And then like all of a sudden you're like trying to make a sandwich last minute and you're kind of rushing, right? You're using that dull knife and all of a sudden that juice just flies and hits your nice white shirt. You're like, no, oh no, I gotta go change, right? All because you didn't have one good knife. All right, so I'm gonna show you how the trimmer works. You guys ready? See how thin that slice is? It's so thin, it only has one side. That's actually not actually possible by the laws of physics. It's just a Cutco joke, right? But isn't that pretty cool how thin? So it will actually save you money because instead of using one tomato for 3 sandwiches, you can use one tomato for like 150 sandwiches because it's so super thin. And it's just kind of fun. And you can do this thing where you can just drag it back and it'll actually still cut like that. So when you get down to like the little tiny slices, you can use that when you're doing like your salsa. You guys really like salsa, guacamole, stuff like that. Okay, awesome. So you'll use this knife a ton. This probably be the knife that you typically don't even put in your cutting board. It'll just be on your block. You'll just have it on your cutting board because you're using it so much. All right, next piece of Cutco is our singing spatula splitter. Our spatula splitter has many features. First of all, it's actually a fortune teller. It actually is able to tell the future. I don't know if you look really, really close, you can see the next Cutco owner. That's pretty good.
That was a good one.
That was a good one too. And it's also a party, kind of like a party entertainer. If like you've got like let's say you've got like a party going on and like the DJ decides to leave, you can play some music with it. Oh. Gotta get right. You wanna try it?
What?
Pretty cool, huh? You guys can guess what musical note that is? I don't know if you guys are like musically inclined. The B sharp. Because Cutco will always.
Oh.
B sharp. Yes! Come on, if that didn't make a sale right there, I don't know what just made a sale. Right? Okay, so here's what you really use it for. Okay, I want you to imagine like Blake's running late to school. And like Jenny's like, dude, I need a sandwich too. Don't give me pizza money. I want to get like a real sandwich. And you're like, all right, cool. I've got literally 43 seconds to make a sandwich. So you grab like 5 slices of bread right on the table. You take a big scoop of the mayonnaise across all of the slices. You take the chicken, you cut it up, leftover stuff. You got some salad, some lettuce, some tomatoes, all with the same knife because you can see on the tomato. You can actually make slices. You just throw it all on there. You're like serving with it. Sandwiches in half. Cut them in half because he won't eat them unless they're cut into triangles. Right? Boom. Yep. You can cut the cross off the bread if you want to. And you've got sandwiches. 42 seconds done. Like you've got like a cape coming back from like Supermom, right? Just because you had like the world's greatest spatula splitter. You see how awesome this knife would be? This is also good for cutting cake and pie at like the holiday season. You can just like cut and spread and serve all with the same tools. So you don't like break that first piece of pie. This was the knife that I stole from my parents when I went to college. I'm like, I don't need anything else, but I make peanut butter jelly sandwiches like a champ. Like literally, you get to the bottom of the jar. You know how like you have no money left, right? You'll get there when you get to college. You get to the bottom. You can like scrape everything out. You make like 3 more sandwiches because of this thing. So money saver. It's fun. Lots of things to do in the party. This is your spatula shredder. Pretty cool to have, huh? All right. Next piece I have, and of course that one comes in our homemaker set. Next piece I have is the Petite Carver. That's the one that you cut the rope. Other than all the rope that you eat on a daily basis, and obviously high in fiber, the Petite Carver, this is going to be like for all of the jobs that this knife is just way too small for. Like you're cutting like a chicken, small turkey, even like rolls and breads at the table, things like that. You ever cut like a pineapple before with like a regular knife? No, of course you haven't. Nobody cuts pineapples. They're like impossible to cut, right? So that's why I mean, at this grocery store, then you see those like plastic containers of pineapple for like $5. And then a pineapple at the grocery store is $2. So where's that $3 going? It's for that one person at the supermarket that's got that one sharp knife. He gets the $3 every single time. So now we're going to save those $3 by actually having one knife that actually do it. You take a pineapple and you cut it. And they freak out, lose their shit. All right, so can you see why this knife is so nice to have? It just saves you money. All right, the next piece of Cutco is actually one of my favorites. It's our world famous pickle poker. So, you know, when you get into like, when you open up a pickle jar and like you grab that like just a regular dull fork and you're trying to like get it and it goes like bloop, bloop. You're like, damn it, right? It's like you can't get it. So you're like look around. You're like, oh, the hell with it. You just reach your hand in there. Now you washed your hand with Purell, but Blake unfortunately did not. And he saw you do it, so he was like, okay, mom. And he like reaches his entire hand, like trying to grab the pickle. You know all that stuff that's floating in the pickle juice? That didn't come with the jar. Okay, that's like shenanigans that are getting in there from everyone's hand. So with this one, you can actually, take things out of the pickle jar because it's actually angled outwards. It'd be a lot easier if this actually worked. Thank you. All right, and you can turn stuff over really easily on a frying pan. You ever played like grease hockey or like with like bacon or sausage?
Hardcore struggle this morning.
There you go. All right, so you can get pickles and cherries out of a jar really easily. Turn bacon, sausage. You know when you're ever doing like, did you ever do like eggplant parmesan? You like cut the eggplant really thin. You know it's like impossible to pick up with a regular fork. So this one you can turn, cut, and turn, cut, and turn. This is probably the piece that people will use the most because it's like the assistant to all the other deals. It's like holding stuff down, moving stuff around. It's just really easy to use. All right, next piece in your set is the protector. So when like little Jenny starts bringing over like, you know, boyfriends, this is how you answer the door. Right? Just like hold this up and be like, excuse me, please have her back in 4 minutes. All right, no dates. This is our butcher knife. So this is the money saver of the set. This will save you the most amount of money by owning it. So what this allows you to do is, you guys, you know, when you go to Costco and you buy like, you know, 500 pounds of meat in bulk and it's all like one gigantic chunk. Now what you could do is you could put it in the freezer and you could defrost the entire thing and make burgers for half the neighborhood, right? But instead, what you can do is you can take this butcher knife and you can actually disjoint and take apart parts of it yourself and then put the rest back in the freezer, because obviously if you take something out of the freezer and defrost it, you get freezer burn, you're trying to put it back. So instead, you can just take chunks away by taking it apart with a butcher knife. And plus, Mr. Jones, don't tell me that's not fun to hold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it kind of brings out that caveman grunt inside of all of us, right? Yeah, it's the bomb. So, yeah, I mean, when he doesn't do his homework, just wake him up in the morning like this, right? Just in front of his face. No, just kidding. You don't want to do that either. What it's really also good for is like when you crack open like the back of a lobster tail, you can crack that in half. And that is the knife. That one right there. That you can actually cut spaghetti squash before you cook them.
Nice.
Not after you cook them, when you know it's like you typically have to like microwave them. You can actually cut them before, so you can split them up, put a little olive oil, you know, a little rosemary, a little thyme on it, and you can even bake it. I do that with acorn squash. I don't know if you've ever done that before. So I'll take an acorn squash, I'll cut it in half with a butcher knife, I'll split it in half, do a little bit of olive oil, and then some like herbs, like whatever you like. You just bake it in the oven, and then when it's done, you can literally just scoop it out with a spoon. It's so amazing. But it's kind of hard to do if you don't have the thing already cut in half.
Yeah, you have to like warm it up first.
Right. So in that one, you don't have to deal with it. You can just bake it in the oven, never have to worry about it again. That'd be pretty cool to have, right? That's like your crazy vegetable knife. Like this knife where you like, exactly. Thanks.
I'm Mr. Jones.
All right.
I don't know how to.
That's okay. That's why you're lucky to have her, right?
Yeah.
All right. Next is a Cutco. This is your salad maker. This is another piece of Cutco that probably really won't find itself too much in the wood block. Probably have this on the cutting board quite a bit if you're ever doing your salad, or you guys know how people are like really want to do some like meal prepping. The reason why people don't do meal prepping is because they have crappy knives and it takes forever. So this is the best meal prepping knife. That, by the way, is a new name and use knife, because that is a very like normal thing that people want to do nowadays, meal prepping, right? So this is our meal prepping knife. So the value of this thing is that you can chop up like 3 carrots at a time, the entire thing of celery, instead of having to take it apart and do like 1 piece at a time with your little paring knife. My mom used to do this every single day. You ever hear this before? You are destroying your knife blade by doing that. It's just like dulling it like crazy. And that's why your knives are so dull. And after a while, you don't want to cut anything up anymore. And you're like, okay, let me buy the bag of carrots or the bag of celery, which costs you an extra $3 per bag versus buying just a head of lettuce for like 98 cents. And you can chop everything yourself with this tool. You guys ever turned on a cooking show? This is the knife that they're always grabbing for, right? So you can chop and dice with it. And a lot of moms really have never learned how to do it. My mom never knew how to do this. So do you want me to show you how it's done, or you think are you pretty comfortable in the kitchen?
You can go ahead and show me.
Okay, cool. So here's what you do. Think paper cutter in middle school. You put the knife on the front, and you put the vegetable all the way to the back, and you just go up and down and up and down and up and down. Here, let me have you try it. Okay, I'm gonna hold it for you. Okay, just up and down. Boom, keep on. There you go.
Nice.
You ever like taught a little kid how to use a bicycle before, like ride a bike before? That's kind of what I just did with her. So now that she knows how to use it, what does she want to do?
Have it.
Buy it. All right. So the next piece in your set is your money saving slicer. This is another huge money saver of the set. Oh, this is really close to me. All right, this is our money saving slicer. The reason why this is such a great money saver is because of taco night. You guys ever do taco night? Right? I don't know if you got it on Tuesdays, but anyways, so what the thing that this will save you money on is by shredding lettuce. So you can actually take a head of lettuce for 98 cents and shred it up in about 5 seconds versus having to buy the bag of lettuce, which is going to cost you like $3. This is also the knife that you're going to cut through like French bread, or like, you know, I don't know if you guys do like garlic bread out of the oven. You know, like they tell you not to cut it up before it's cooled down, and they like not, you know, mom's like slaps you with a wooden spoon. With this, you can actually cut the fresh bread right out of the oven 1 second after it's out of the oven. And so you can cut like that warm, flaky, crusty bread. It's like, and you can put like some butter or garlic on top of it, like spread it like it almost like melts right through the bread. And you can do that all while it's warm because of this knife. You guys see all that happening, all that picture that I just painted? Yeah. That's why people buy lots of stuff when they go to the grocery store and when they're hungry. All right. So that's a slicer. So those are like the tools that you would use like more on a daily basis. And then we've got the carving set. People use this knives a lot more than they would think. You guys ever do like roast or like barbecues?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is like your roast knife. This is like your big brisket knife. This is like the filet mignon, like anything that you're doing like a big roast. Because the thing about it is that you don't want to do lots of like slicing because of the fact that they'll shred the meat. But with the double the edge, just do nice long slices and you get nice even long wide blades. And so this is what you'll use for that. And this is what you'll use for like Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, like about 4 to 5 times a year. You'll use it for the main holidays. And then every single time you have a roast, you'll use this knife too. And move it around. And then the reason why you want to have the 2 forks is because you can actually lift stuff and move it over to a pot, from a pot to a pan. So like, let's say, you know, you've got like your, so actually these 2 forks together are weight tested. So you can actually lift up to 300 pounds. So the next time you have your like Guinness Book of World Turkeys, like you can actually move it from one, and you won't like drop it, you know, like things like that. You're like all pissed off because like the bird fell on the floor. You got to order Chinese food now. But instead you can actually move it. And then all of a sudden, Mrs. Jones, if your husband doesn't wake up in the morning, just like, bam, right in the shower. All right, and then last but not least are our table knives. We sell more of these than every single piece of Cutco combined. Table knives are awesome. They're not for steak. We call them table knives because they're for all 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they have the round blades you can use for like buttering toast and bagels, and the double the edge makes them so they're lethal for steak as well. We recommend about 2 per person per household because you're going to use them every single day. I don't want you to have to like put them in the dishwasher multiple times. All right, so Mrs. Jones, I'm going to have you see what it's like when he makes a steak sometimes and he overcooks it by about 4 hours. Just kidding. All right. Just bring back memories.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So that's, by the way, this is like some gnarly Texas boot leather, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I know the steaks make it a lot nicer than that. I'm just having fun. All right.
Yeah.
He already hates me. I should probably move this butcher knife away from him a little bit.
Wow.
That's psycho. All right, cool. Here's what we're gonna do. This is just to show you how insanely amazing Cutco is. I'm gonna actually put 2 of them together. Would you even want to try that with your knife? No, okay, me neither. All right, so we can throw this away if you want. Actually, we have a program where if you want to trade some of these in, I'll give you a discount on Cutco. All right, and for the next section, you'll have to come back next Saturday. Like, what? Yep, next Saturday morning, 8 a.m. I'll be doing the close. All right, so I want
Oh,
the
I thought that was part of
3.
the demo.
No,
I thought you were gonna tell the customer.
no, I've got training here. I've got training in 5 minutes. All right, I want you to go to your notes and I want you to find what are the 3 biggest takeaways from what you saw and what you saw today.
You kept saying you were set. You were set.
If you didn't write down one of these takeaways, I'd write them down. So between now, we will add an extra 12 takeaways. All right, so I kept saying you're set. I didn't realize I'm doing that, by the way. That's just, I guess, built into my genetics. What else what did you notice? What else?
What do
did
you love to cook at the beginning of the demo?
And then how did I use that?
And well, you wrote it down and used it later to talk about how you can use the knife. There's
Which
the different knives.
I emotionally attached her to what she loves. Right? What else?
You paint really good pictures, visuals.
How do I paint pictures? With my
Hands.
hands, right? What are some of the pictures that you were clearly able to see?
The French bread.
The French bread,
The
yeah.
French bread, right? The noises like cracks, it crusts. You're just like, right? You're just like foaming at the mouth from it.
You can pass them down the plate.
Multi-generational thing. What does that do to the value?
Yeah.
Right? Makes the value significantly higher. What else?
The spatula spreader, you look in if you look really closely, you can see the next picture on it.
You like that
Yeah,
part?
that one was good.
Why do I tell the most ridiculous, stupid, cheesy jokes?
Makes them
better
laugh.
experience.
Makes them like you.
Because they like me more because of it.
I also
Right.
really like the playing music with the special spreader, the key that it's
Did I not do that in
pretty
training?
sharp.
I didn't do that in your training group? Sorry.
No, that was fantastic.
Okay. So like the B sharp jokes. I didn't come up with any of these jokes, by the way. I'm not like creative and shit. I just stole them from other managers. I learned most of these at conferences. All right. What else?
16,000,001.
You like the 60,000,001, right? Just that like kind of like funny but charming confidence kind of thing. You don't have to be charming and confident. You just have to say charming and confident things. So just whatever I said, just say it on your demo. Okay. What else?
High five after the rope cutting
Lots of high fives. Okay. Why do I high five?
to engage.
Positive.
It allows me to interact with our customer, right? And that puts me from a salesperson to a friend because friends high five each other, right? You remember how I closed that deal the other day, right?
Yeah.
I closed a $3,000 order the other day by saying, all right, Mrs. Jones, want to do it? Just high five there. What kind of person wants to have a really lame ass like purchase of a $3,000 thing? If I'm gonna buy $3,000 of something, somebody better give me a high five,
Yeah.
right? I want to be excited. What else? What else did you notice, Jenny?
Like you retaught her how to cut.
I now become from cutlery salesperson to cutlery what?
Knowledge
Expert.
person.
Cutlery consultant. And because I position myself as a consultant, I can now give them advice on what to buy. What else?
Once you cut the leather, you casually mentioned the trade-in special.
I did. Good catch on that one. I did casually mention the trade-in special. Because half the time they're thinking, shit, what are we gonna do with these knives? Okay. What else?
Your gross part on the wooden handles was really solid.
That was and has always been the best part of my demo.
Oh.
I go huge on that page because I was selling to a lot of people in Chicago that were not very affluent. And so I had to make sure that they were so disgusted with their own knives that it wasn't a want, it was a need to buy Cutco. When you convert Cutco purchasing from a want to a need, people will part with their hard-earned money.
Slicers and money saver. Saver talking about.
Okay, there's two money savers. What was the other money saver? Why do I position those two knives as my most important pieces of the set?
Because people don't see themselves using them as much.
Because they're part of the homemaker and the galley alone. They're not part of the smaller sets. And so I want to be able to sell them on the larger sets. And also because some of the pieces that intrinsically people won't realize they're using. By making the butcher knife the knife they use the most, I'm selling sets. And if not, like they really want the set, they'll get something later.
Also, when you were talking about the most expensive knives, you asked them beforehand what they expect them to look like, so it catches them off guard.
Mm-hmm. Good one too. Anything else? Trinity, what do you think? You were here for most of that. I saw you paying attention to most of that demo.
It was great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the compliment. Is there anything that you learned? Anything that you kind of like picked up from that?
Oh, your joke about the frequency.
The joke about which one?
Always be sharp.
Oh, the Be Sharp joke. Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, jokes. You just gotta say funny stuff. Like, dude, customers eat it up with a spoon. They love it. Dude, moms wear sweatpants for a living. Like, they're not looking for the clever jokes. They're looking for what is the cheesiest thing possible. Because they want to use that joke with one of their friends. You know how excited Mrs. Jones is gonna be to share that joke with one of her girlfriends? She's like, Susie, come here. I gotta show you this joke. Look at this thing. Look at the C-sharp thing I got there. Like, they have no idea what they're talking about, but they think it's hilarious. See, it's sharp, right? I can use that one too. Anything else? Any final gold nuggets there?
Oh, the forks. You actually made people like see that they were gonna use them. Everyone's like, oh, the forks. Like, oh, okay. Like, good job. You have a fork.
Yeah,
Getting the
seriously.
husband out of bed in
What?
the morning, getting the husband out of bed.
Yeah, just like doing that. But again, it's just interaction. It's just fun, involving everybody, making it fun.